What if the person who made you feel safe was also the one you couldn't hold on to? This is the story of two students who found love in the quietest place, only for life to slowly tear them apart. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. This boy's name is Tae Seo. He was the smartest in his former school, but because of the death of his parents, him and his brother had to leave the school. He went to the village to stay with his grandparents and prepare for his final exams to proceed into college. When he got to the village, he met a girl called Eun Ae. She is a young and smart student too. On the first day he met Eun Ae at the school library. She is so smart that they put her in charge of opening and closing the library. When he wanted to read, she began to talk, which distracted him from his reading. She started telling him secrets about herself, and even it was time for lunch. She gave him lunch and a new pair of gym wear. When it was time to go home, she walked him to the bus and went home in her bike. She begged him to come the next day, but he said he wasn't sure about that. He was angry because he didn't get to read as much as he would have loved. The next day, he was sitting at the door of the library waiting for her. When she opened the door, he asked her, "How long have you known me, and is that why you were kind to me?" She said, "Yes, I've always known you since we moved here. Your brother and I are friends." He smiled and said, "Good. I just wanted to know why you were kind." While they were reading, Eun Ae gave him a cloth to tie on his neck and reduce the sweats. They both smiled at each other and continued. On their way home, Tae Seo told her he brought his own bike to get some exercise with her, but she came with the bus instead. She walked to the bus sad, thinking of the fun she missed. While she was in the bus, she saw him riding by the side lane and couldn't get her eyes off him. Over the days, they became closer to each other and continued to read and go home together. Their bond got stronger. Eun Ae has a great father, but he used to be down with depression. She feels that any time she leaves him alone, he may try to commit suicide again. The next day, she came to the library late, but when she saw him her mind became calm. She told him, the sight of him makes her calm and she appreciates his presence. When he heard that, he sat in front of her so that she will continue staying happy. A few minutes later, she got a message that her father will be alone, and she immediately hurried back home. Tae Seo wanted to follow her and help her, but she did not allow him. When she left, he could read either. So he immediately packed up. The next day, when he heard her coming up the stairs, he walked to bit slowly so as to allow her catch up. Anytime they are together, they talk about life and the future. Eun Ae got so happy talking to him and she said, "I think I like you." Immediately, everything got tense and they both went quiet for the whole day. They both went home in their bikes, but it was so quiet. After the holidays, school began and every student resumed. Because of the awkward statement, Tae Seo kept avoiding Eun Ae. Even when she followed him to another city in the same bus, he barely looked at her. They met at the bus station, but he told her, "I am not here for fun, I am here for serious business." Eun Ae came to visit her father's girlfriend, but when she got there, she was surprised. She told her that her father refused to date anyone out of grief, and she cannot spend her time waiting for him. When he was preparing to get admitted to a college in the big city, he went to a doctor to check out his ear problem. Sometimes he does not hear what is being said properly. She asked him what happened and he burst into tears. He told her it was when his parents went to celebrate his brother's graduation, and they got into an accident. The accident killed him and broke his brother's legs. After he told her, it felt like the whole weight came off him. He immediately called Eun Ae to wait for him. They met at the train station and she said, "As soon as I saw you, I got the guts to move around. You are my facilitator." They held hands and smiled. On the day of their final exam, they both came out early to talk before leaving, and after the exam they both came out happily. They visited the beach and went on a night trip. That night, she told him she was scared of getting into a school far from him. She wanted them to spend their whole lives together. He reassured her that no matter what happened, "I will always be close to you." In the heat of passion, they kissed and from that point, they fell in love. She sneaked him into her room, and they began to caress until her father came out, and they pretended to be doing something else. It became a consistent thing. Fortunately, they both passed and they came out in flying colors. During the Christmas holidays, Tae Seo sneaked into her room, and they celebrated it together. They drank wine and played in the snow. Soon enough, Tae Seo got admission and had to move to the city while Eun Ae was still waiting for her results. When he told her, she got sad and hoped that one of her schools accept her so she can be close to him. As he was about to enter the train, Eun Ae appeared and told him she will go with him and come back alone. When they got to the city, she received a message that she was admitted to her school of choice. They both celebrated in joy. When she left, he went to the grave of his parents and paid homage on their death anniversary. When she got to school, she immediately became friends with her seatmate Park Nari, and they quickly bonded. One day, she did not come to school and Eun Ae felt so lonely. She tried to talk to Tae Seo but he was busy teaching classes. When he became free, she already left to visit her dad. That weekend they planned to see each other, and Eun Ae visited him. Eun Ae got a job in school as a trainee. When she visited Tae Seo on one of her trips, she told him all about the job and she was physically happy. She said, "You make me believe in my destiny. Because of you, I am working hard to get things for myself." He followed her to the bus stop and kissed her before she left. One day, Tae Seo visited Eun Ae at her house and got caught by her father's friend. She asked them why they were hiding it, but they had nothing to say. She cautions them about having sex at an early age. She agreed to keep it a secret so as not to allow it become a rumor. The next day he was talking to his classmate about the future and plans. They told him to focus on himself and forget about having multiple responsibilities. That stuff may draw him back. Over the weeks, they become more busy. One thing or another takes up their time of day, especially his preparations for the upcoming exams. After the exams, he went to visit her but they could not meet. There were few steps apart but also couldn't hug each other because she was on her work uniform. He wanted to go straight into working to be able to handle the responsibilities of his junior brother and his grandparents. One day, Eun Ae finally got the internship she wanted, and she packed her bags away from home. She moved into the dorm and did not tell her boyfriend. When she was moving, she told her father's girlfriend to never leave him no matter his health condition. When Tae Seo got home, he quickly sent her a message that he would love to meet her by this time. She didn't agree to it. She ignored the message until he called her several hours later. She told him to stop wasting his time because she has found something she loves and don't want to waste any part of her time doing things that don't move her forward. He cried but understood what she meant. His time in her life is done, and there is no need to stretch it again. Due to the hardship his family was facing, he didn't further his education and instead, he got a job as a train driver in the big city. Years later, we find Tae Seo still working at the train station, and also coding at night. He does side jobs to earn money and barely had time to visit his family. One day, after work Tae Seo saw a familiar face in the train station. When he came out he confirmed that it was Eun Ae. He quickly ran to the other side of the track to meet her but when he got there, she walked past him, and another guy was right behind her. She had left her partner for 10 years and now he is chasing her looking for closure. Because of this, he went to visit his family and check out where she used to be in the village, but no avail. He finally left the village to go back to focus on his job. One of his customers came to ask for a frame. She was his classmate in high school, but he acted like he did not remember her. One early morning, Eun Ae called Tae Seo, something she has been thinking about for years. They didn't get to talk much. He just told her his job and she told him not to worry about her because she is fine. That evening, she showed up at his workplace and when he saw her, he could not speak to her. He walked away wearing the same bag he has been wearing from 10 years ago. He wanted to completely leave the environment, but his mind was too heavy. He walked up to her and talked with her. On their way home, she wanted him to leave but he insisted on following her to her apartment. When they got there, the landlord chased her away, and she had nowhere to stay. Luckily for her, Tae Seo insisted that she stayed with him for the night. That night, she was surprised by the state of his apartment. He worked in it and created frames so it looked scattered. In the morning, he made her breakfast and walked her down to the station to get a train. He began to grow feelings for her again. The next morning, she came with a gift to thank him for his kindness, and he sat her down to ask her, "Have you broken up with your boyfriend or are you guys patching things up?" He wanted to be sure before allowing her in his life any further. He allowed her to spend 2 more nights in his house while he was away before she gets her own proper place to stay. When she visited her friend that owned the house she stayed at, they complained of her accusing her father's girlfriend for his death, but she told them, "It's easier to blame her than to blame myself. She was on her internship when he died." After that conversation, she decided what she wanted to do. She went to visit her boyfriend and broke up with him. He was surprised because he felt like she never liked him, and he kept trying to make things better. After she broke up, she went to the house of Tae Seo and met him sleeping. She claimed his bed and they both hugged each other.